What is up, guys? This is Russ here, PokeRuss here, and we are back for another Deck Tech Tuesday. Deck Tech Tuesday is a series where we go over decks either submitted by you guys or by one of us over in my little crew and stuff like that. We go over different decks, their weaknesses, their strengths, what different combos come in them, all that kind of stuff, and just go over the deck in depth so you can get a better understanding for a deck. And maybe you have some changes you'd make to the deck. Maybe you want to take control of this deck. You're like, I really want to use this card, but I just don't know how to use it. And these kind of just guide you in the right directions. These aren't a definitive, this is how you build the deck. These are just like, hey, this is an idea of which way you can go for the deck, or stuff like that. So if you guys want to submit a deck to Deck Tech Tuesdays, you can either do it either in the comment section down below, or there's an email address as well. By next week, we will have the Discord set up, so you will be able to submit it over on the PokeRuss Discord. That will be coming soon, but let's get into today's deck profile. It is another Sun Goku deck. So this is, I think, the third time we've done this. Three? Magic 3, so he is one of the best leaders in the game. Let me ask you this. Is this something you guys would want to see? Me doing either a discussion video or something like that where I go over what I think are the top 3, top 5 leaders in the current meta game. So obviously I would do it like once per set. Whenever something new changes to the game, like a new promo is really not going to affect you too much. It might a little bit, but like every time just go over like, hey, set 3's top 5 leaders or whatever. Set 3's meta, I guess I would say. So anyway, Goku is in one of the top 3 slots, but he's pretty standard. He allows you to ramp beautifully. You can only have up to 6 energy. Place 1 card from your hand in the drop area. If you have no energy, choose 2 of your life and add them to your energy. When you have 4 or less life, you can flip this card over and draw 2 cards. So, flip this card over, he goes SSJ 3, and yeah, he still can only have 6 mana, and at the end of your turn, choose 3 of your energy and switch them to active mode. When this card attacks, draw 1 card. So pretty standard, and you're like, Russ, you've done a counter-style deck, you've done a Majin Buu style deck. What do you have left with Super Saiyan 3? 1. There's plenty of decks left with Super Saiyan 3. He's, like, again, one of the most versatile leaders in the game. But the deck we have for you today is Ultra Instinct. We're going to see Goku not only his limits of Dragon Ball Z, hit his limits of Super in this deck. So this is a Ultra Instinct Rush deck. The goal is to consistently hit Ultra Instinct on turn 2 or turn 3, or I'm sorry, not on turn 2, on turn 3 or turn 4. So, Ultra Instinct's obviously a turn 7. We'll go over the big boss monster of the deck real quick. Ultra Instinct, you're running 4 of it. Normally, in a average Ultra Instinct build, I wouldn't suggest going for 4. I would suggest 3 of your big boss monster, because the way numbers work out, if you want to see 1 of a card during a match, you run 3 of it. If you want to see more than 1, you run 4 of it. Stuff like that. But he EX evolves. Place 1 card from your hand in a drop area. Blue Goku with an energy of 5 energy a cost more. And yeah. So he has Triple Strike, which is absolutely insane. And your opponent can combo for the duration of this card's battle. When a card evolves into this card, return all of your opponent's battle cards to the owner's hand. That's absolutely insane. Just pops everything up. Says pretty much flip the table, and your opponent has to pretty much restart. Like, so if they've built up a board, like, you can just blow it all up. And it's one of those cards that gets around barrier, so it just bounces everything back, which is absolutely insane. And it has Triple Strike, so they're not blocking. They might have counters in their hand. They will have combo pieces, obviously, but they can't combo with for the duration of this battle. So this is a huge important card. So even with all those cards they pop back, they can't combo with any of them. Super awesome, super great. Beautiful. Triple Strike is a game ender. I don't care what anybody tells you, it is a game ender, and this card will be your game ender. So this deck can either finish off your opponent in the first time it strikes, or it can even do it twice, because as aggro as you're going, they're going to have a hard time dealing with this when it pops out. It's 3,500 attack, so it gets above that threshold, as I've always talked about, of 30,000, and your opponent's going to have to waste a lot of cards to try to get over the in turn that they're doing, and that will also create you card advantage as well. So, how do we get into Ultra Instinct? We have 1, 2, 3, 4 onslaughts, and I also have 1 Super Saiyan 3 max energy. You're like, Russ, that's not a good card. It's not this. Consistency. The consistency is key. If you, this will obviously take you an extra turn to get to it, but the consistency of making sure you hit this. This is your end game. This is what you're rushing for. This is what you got to do to get there. So putting 5 targets for your 4 targets, just so you can see consistency of the earliness you want to hit it. We do have the extra 5th slot in there. I don't actually have the numbers in the back to support why we're running 5, but from playtesting and doing all that kind of stuff, 5 is the necessary evil you kind of have to take. Sometimes you really miss that 5 slot in 4, and I really wanted to go with an Evo target, because, again, it's still going to cost less with the Evo target than to go with that turn 5 one from set 4. But, again, necessary evil, you kind of have to do it. For the lower base, though, to get into these ones, we have 8 targets. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 Kind-Hearted Son Goku. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4 Preface of Recovery Son Goku. Now, this is the new BBC promo. This is one of those cards that is kind of a little bit game-changing. It has Barrier, and when you play this card, choose 2 of your energy and switch them back to active mode. So after everything's said and done, though you have to wait to turn 3 to play this, it does essentially only cost 1. So if you're in those later turns and it does get pushed back a turn to turn, like a turn 4 win, you can play this on tap 2, evolve, do everything you kind of need to just for 1 energy. So it makes the base always pretty much cost 1, which is absolutely crazy. We'll come back to these. So turn 1's a super important turn. Obviously you're playing Son Goku. So, or you're playing the leader. So you're skipping your turn 1, but your turn 1 is super important anyway, because your turn 1 really sets up how the game's going to play out and how the numbers work in your favor. So because you're skipping turn 1, your turn 1's your turn 2. So you're playing, obviously I told you before, the 4 Gokus. They net you a card. Deck thinning is deck winning with this deck. 100%. 100%. The numbers will, the percentages and the numbers will all add up, that every time you thin your deck, the cards you want to get are obviously, if you don't get them, they're higher percent you're going to draw it with the next draw. So just sitting there going through your deck is going to be the way to get the cards you need. So we're also playing 4 Majin Buu. And then this is where I kind of there's 2 ways you could actually go with the deck. I couldn't fit enough green in to put the argument for green in, but I ended up going with 4 of this Bulma support. This could also be, if you're running yellow, you could run the Bulma for yellow. Because there's a couple different ways you can run this deck. I think the multicolored ones are a bit slower. I think this one really streamlines that way. I think the yellow variant actually has the better matchup against, like, of the 3, it has the better matchup because it does have the counters. But for Mono Blue, I think Mono Blue is the fastest. You hit Bulma. So Bulma grabs you a Trunks. There's no Trunks that's super relevant, but because deck thinning is deck winning, you are grabbing Hope of Light Trunks. We have 3 Hope of Light Trunks in the deck. Again, you're hitting these your turn 1. After that, they're pretty dead to you. They're absolutely pretty dead to you. Unless you're in like that weird spot where you hit this turn 3, you don't really have a combo piece, so you're able to play a couple more turn 1s. So she grabs a Trunks we grab the best Trunks that does have a use. Hope of Light is actually is a really good card still. And it's overall the best useful blue Trunks. So, like, you could also play, another argument you could say is, you grab the turn 3 promo one. The turn 3 promo blue one, Trunks Link to the Future. Let me grab one out, actually. You could also run this one. So, you're running this one not because of its ability to grab Vegito, but you could be grabbing it for its critical ability. So, you could play either or. I decided Hope of Light because I think it has an overall more useful arc in the thing. But again, it's just pretty much this is either going to go to mana or it's going to be used as a combo piece. You're just trying to thin your deck out to get to your Goku pieces. If you could run a 40-card deck, or if you could run a 30-card deck, you'd probably be running it with this, because you're just trying to aggro out to this Goku. Deck thing is deck winning. I'm going to keep saying it throughout the entire video. So we have 3 Time Patrol Trunks. Obviously, because of the way to protect yourself and like to do other things, you're going to be comboing with your turn 1s and stuff like that. You're going to get a lot of cards in discard pile decently quickly, so you can play the Overwhelm, play the Trunks, and look at the top 2 cards of your deck. Dig for that Goku a bit more. Oh, the green variant. The green variant I was talking about runs the turn 1 Trunks to top 2 cards for a Saiyan, and then turn 2 Goku to have another target to evolve into, like, these guys. So, obviously it can't evolve into Ultra Instinct, but it can evolve into the turn 5 pieces, which is the important thing. And it also nets you a card. So there's the Time Patrol Trunks. Sadly, that can't be grabbed with Bulma, or the game would be totally different at that point. The game would be absolutely different at that point if you could grab that. Next, we're running... So the way the combo works and the way you have to push, because if you can do the turn 3 push, I 100% say go for it. But you have to play a little bit of mana manipulation to actually get around it, unless you're awake. Well, if you're awake, it doesn't really matter. Because when you awaken, you get to draw 2 more cards. That helps you get into these pieces. But you're still going to have to play a little bit of mana manipulation. So that's where the 4 Senzu Beans comes in, and the 4 Unyielding Trunks. You could probably pop this down to 3, but I think this is actually more of an essential combo piece than this. But all of this allows you to do that mana manipulation so you can go into the turn 1 combo, do what you need to do with your leader, get your mana untapped, go into the turn 3, then evolve right into Ultra Instinct Goku. So this is a fun thing. It allows you to really manipulate your mana and do what you need to do. And obviously, if you're awakened, you can just go all out. You can just drop your entire, as much as you possibly can with all this. You just drop everything and then just go aggro. Your opponents then have any defensive cards, like say you have a couple 110s in your hand or whatever. You just, at the end of your turn, you untap, and you still have a nice defense, and then next turn you can swing again. Like, it just allows you to build a bigger presence on the board, a bigger force to just push, push, push. So, we're running Piccolo. You could make an argument for both Piccolo or the other guy. The biggest thing about Piccolo is no matter what, it is the draw. You're not really having to worry about the combo pieces with Ultra Instinct. So, like, Jocko has less uses, but the Supreme Kai that acts like Jocko. But I just think overall, I think the boost attack Piccolo is just a more standard call. I wouldn't really swap away from it. Then we have this guy. He's going to be used mostly on defense to, like I said, you go all in. You don't finish him off with that 1 attack, but they decide to come in. You're all kind of tapped out. You untap your 3 mana, and then you just kind of drop these as defenses. Pretty standard. Get your board bigger. Blue. You can't go wrong. I think for these, this is the only... Super Saiyan 3 is the only deck I play for these. If it were any other deck, I'd probably play 3. I really struggle with the 110s in decks, and like making sure I don't have too many, because it just leads to game enders. And at the end of this all, because we are running this, so we eat 1 of our lives, or I'm sorry, 2 of our lives, so that puts us down to 6. If we need to, we have all this to put us down to 5. If our opponent's not attacking us, if our opponent knows what's coming, we do have these no openings Gokus. They do not obviously get summoned. We had some of these issues in the past where people thought, like, why are you using that? It doesn't work in yellow, or it doesn't work in blue. But it does. The second effect is the important effect that works, which is choose 1 of your life, add it to your hand. It helps you self-awaken. It just creates that push, because between, like, if you hit this off, or if they attack you once with a single breaker, you have that 1, you're just sitting on that 5 mana, and that 5 mana, you're just 1 piece away from what you need. Between flipping him over, drawing 2, getting the 1 life, which is an extra draw, and then drawing for your turn, that's 4 more chances. That's almost 1/10 of your deck that you have an extra chance to get your combo pieces. Again, this is all about consistency, getting that Ultra Instinct out, and just pushing as fast and as hard as you can for game. So this is a variant of Ultra Instinct Goku. I think this is a really cool variant. Again, it's done really good in testing. Ultra Instinct Goku with Super Saiyan 3 I think is really good anyway. There's a meme going around that you just throw Ultra Instinct in any deck. I've been doing that with Fu. Fu's been my kind of end-all be-all. And I do love the variants, not gonna lie. I do love the variants that have this and Fu, because they can't combo for this attack, and they can't use their super combos on any other attack. So it's just like, what? Game. But they both have really high cost, so it's really hard to fit them both in deck. But it is for that combo does allow for a better matchup, I would suggest subsiding Fu, because that honestly gives you a better answer to yellow decks. Yellow decks are like Ginyu decks and stuff like that, so Fu would be your good answer to a good yellow deck. I don't have Fu. Yeah, I do. Right there. So you'd side Fu, again against yellow, and you get Ultra Instinct out just as planned. They Cold Bloodlust it. You don't swing. You don't want to fall into their Goku traps. You don't want to fall into any of that stuff. You leave it there. If they don't kill it in that turn, you drop Fu. Like, because they're only going to be able to play a handful of things, because they're not Frieza. So they're only going to be able to play a couple things, and if they don't kill that Goku, you drop the Fu. Their hand's pretty much worthless. They can't combo against Ultra Instinct. It's just, what? This basically says, if you're sitting at, and you can leave them at 5 and do this. You can leave them at 5 and do this. Absolutely insane. I think it's definitely worth a sideboard. It doesn't per se belong in this build per se, but you could kind of play around with it. It's a really strong fight, and yeah. But if you guys want to submit your own decks, like I said, leave them in the comment section down below. Submit them over to PokeRussSubs@gmail.com, and by next week I'll have the Discord set up. So I will see you guys in the next video. Have a great day. PokeRuss out. Peace.